Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, how on earth did we get 773 likes for yesterday's live TLDR? The only answer I have to that question is possibly that I showed you our baby, Jedi, and explained the definition of the name Jedi to everybody, well, at least our definition.
She just ate, so she is well and sleeping.
There we go. Jedi. So Jedi, once again, is short for... I'm sorry, I should be quiet. My mother's name is Judy. Diana's mother's name is Elia. Diana's name is Diana. And they're all the mothers in our family. And I can be whatever she wants it to be. So right now she's an individual. Not exactly autonomous, but she's ready to take on the world. We're going to raise her in the ways of the geek. she's totally loving this.
Yeah.
She's lounging. Oh, I know. Here we go. Sorry. Thing is that she's not a huge fan of bright lights right now. So I'm glad she didn't cry. Just saw like I didn't know if it was going to be yawn or what, but the bright lights in here kind of like make her a little, what's going on? Yeah, and then she's using her hands and everything. So here's how I want to begin TLDR today, even though I'm broadcasting earlier. Thank you, hun.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If she's looking agitated with the lights, you can take her out. There's a lot of lights in here. So and she's still beginning to open her eyes. It's kind of cute. Okay, kind of cute, very cute. What can I say? I'm a proud papa. Though I don't yet have, I've got plenty of Darth Vader mugs, but I don't yet have world's greatest Vader. That's what I need. World's greatest Vader. Vader. It's Dutch for father. Let me go ahead and thank the 927 Supernomies. September 16th, 2014. The reason why I'm broadcasting early today because I am frantic. I've been trying to juggle everything around and getting schedules recombobulated, and I forgot I had an appointment this afternoon. So I have to rush off to that. So this may be a truncated broadcast. I do have a few things to cover. That was your product view. I'm not saying that my daughter is a product. Definitely not. She's a human being, a beautiful human being. And you have an opportunity to not really raise her with us. We're going to raise the child just fine, but experience the world through new parents' eyes. And you may know Jedi better than Jedi will know you. Before I go on to my first topic about geeks and nerds, I've got a big bone to pick with a few people in our community, and I think I need to clear things up because I was really agitated when I read the comment and want to kind of set that tone moving forward with my life and certainly in relation to what you consider definitions of certain words. But first, let me remind everybody that Citrix GoToAssist offers a secure cloud-based solution for IT and customer support professionals and provides live and unattended remote support to their employees and customers working from any computer or mobile device. For a free 30-day trial, visit gotoassist.com. Been using it for years. Love the product. In fact, over the years when I've worked with GoToAssist as a sponsor, most of the people that I've worked with on this side of things have been women, and they understand this product very, very well. I shared a video last week. It was like a compilation of a variety of women in the world, girls in the world, females, however they want to define themselves, or whatever label they choose to give to themselves. They were holding up signs saying, hey, it's I've been into Star Trek ever since I was, an infant, or I've been collecting comic books. That's how I learned how to read. And there are different women from around the world, and then some men who also understand this. So the reason why I bring that up, and this is to me. There's a lot of topics on the table today, don't get me wrong, because I guess tomorrow iOS 8 is officially launching from Apple. I said that I was going to put the GM, the Gold Master, on my phone and iPad to stage a review, but I don't think that's going to happen. Things kind of got busy with my own release, which is now out of beta. My product has shipped. Well, she's a product of Diana and myself, let's be fair. So last night, one of the top comments in TLDR really perturbed me. It really... There are very few things that'll stick in my craw, and I'm not going to say that someone's made an enemy for life, but I just feel like I don't know why I have to even talk about this to anybody. I really don't. It's the comment that was made was so beyond uncivilized and so far off base that it was maddening. And to see this type of bigotedness inside of my community is beyond reproach. I didn't go as far as to block the person or anything, but I'm going to try to teach everybody a lesson here. I will not accept bigotry of any kind. This is to quote. This is I'll give credit. Gazoo2919 said, and the comment's still there. And I'm very glad to see most of the users, who responded were in support of my perspective on the matter. Trust me, this is tied very much into potentially your identity if you call yourself a geek or a nerd, or if you love tech. It's time for another child, Chris. Let's hope it's a boy so you can teach him all your computer and tech knowledge. Long live the tradition of the Pirillo family in tech. What the... I really want to say it. I really want to say it. That was probably the dumbest thing that's ever trickled out of your mouth, Gazoo2919. It was ignorant. It was unfounded. It was indicative of a myopic view of this world that's going to keep all of us behind. If you want to see advances with science, engineering, technology, mathematics, or I guess I kind of out of order, but STEM. If you want a better world with technology, you better get over that small-minded view, that very narrow-minded view that only boys can be into tech. And then only boys can be geeks. And then only boys can be nerds. You know one of the biggest Star Wars geeks I know of? Bonnie Burton. She's a girl. She's a woman. Known her for years. Years. She loves Star Wars. Biggest geek I know of. Making Star Wars, I believe it's a husband-wife team. She's into raising her child in a geeky, nerdy way, as is he, obviously. I believe they're husband-wife. I've only known them on Twitter and through the stuff they post on social. So, just two examples. I could go on in terms of the contributions that women have made to make your life better in the realm of technology. So, this whole time for another child, Chris, hope it's a boy thing, sorry, doesn't fly with me. My daughter will likely grow up to be smarter than you, because that's how it works. Kids who are younger than me, 40 years old, hello, now a father. I know you're smarter than me. If you're younger than me, you're probably smarter than me. No doubt in my mind, you're never going to hear me claim opposite. But you can still say dumb things. You can be the smartest person in the world and still just not get it. So I don't know if you're making this remark to get a rise out of me, or I really don't know, and I really feel sorry for you and the people around you. I really don't know if this is truly your worldview. It baffles me that people. Why would you even say that? It's not a joke. It's not even remotely serious. It can't be serious. Do you know how many women have been around in the world of just computer science? Forget sci-fi and fantasy for just a moment here. Do you know how many women have influenced technology today? Or even in the beginnings of technology, despite the hurdles they had to overcome from people like yourself, with such a narrow view of what someone who can like technology is and is not. I refuse to accept your worldview. I refuse. And in my soul, I pray that 99.9% of the galaxy will also refuse such a horrific view. It's horrific. You've basically judged someone based on the fact that they don't have a... I almost slipped an F-bomb in there again. You've judged someone on the fact that they don't have a penis. And that's wrong. Flat out wrong. And you might think you're a geek or a nerd for saying something like that, but you're not. You're an asshole. Don't label someone based on your misconceptions of how human beings are. You know what? That's the thing I love about the internet. I don't know how old you are. You may be older than me. You're likely younger than me. You may be my same age. I don't know. I don't know you. I only know you by a username and what you put out there. And that is where I find value in communicating with people. I don't care who you are, where you're from. If we can communicate, we can communicate. If we're doing good things together and sharing positivity and making this world a better place together, I'm good to go. I just don't, I can't see the world through any other way other than seeing you for who you are. And that statement was very telling. And unfortunately for you, very damning at the same time. To claim in an indirect fashion that only boys can be interested in technology shows just how little you know about where technology is today and who is responsible. Penis or no penis. There's no excuse for something so just unfounded. And I hate to tell you, if it wasn't for a woman, you wouldn't even have a chance to say something so stupid. And let me tell you, they say the male's the stronger of the species. If I had to go through childbirth, we would have adopted. I've joked about that in the past, but there's no doubt in my mind what Diana went through for our child. What your mother went through to bring you into this world. Shame on you. Shame on you. The world deserves better. And this isn't about some, feminist agenda or, equal rights. It's called you're a human being. If you're intelligent, you're intelligent. If you like Star Wars, you like Star Wars. If you love technology, you love technology. It just baffles me. It's just why would anybody say something like that? Don't judge me. Don't judge my daughter. Don't judge anybody. Give them the opportunity to say something like this, and then you can judge them. But God, it's time for another child. Let's hope it's a boy. I'm in love with my daughter, and I was in love with my daughter from the moment I saw her come into this world, and that's never going to change. If she doesn't like technology, that's her thing. Trust me, she's going to be surrounded by it, but that actually dovetails into a nice little article. Now, I'm going to step off my soapbox for a moment. And by the way, if you share Gazoo's view, Gazoo 2919's view, get out. I don't want you here. I don't want you around me. I don't need your support because it's not support. If your worldview follows his, I don't want to have it. Don't want any of it. Don't want to be around it. Don't need it. Because that type of view makes the world a worse place, and it keeps us behind the times. STEM has nothing to do with having a penis, or a STEM yourself. Sorry, okay. It's a guy thing. It's a whole... Anyway, I'm standing up for all you girl geeks out there, because we are going to raise our daughter in the ways of the geek. It's the way it's going to be. See, here's the funny thing. Some people got tripped up with the name Jedi. I love it. I don't think we could have come up with a more perfect name. I really don't. Naming her after every maternal unit in the family, I dare you to find better. We had every name in there for a month. It was beautiful. And I know it means various things to various people. And yeah, it just so happened to be a Star Wars reference. But my name's Chris. You know that. In fact, Christopher means bearer of Christ. I'm agnostic. I don't want to go to church. I don't fit a certain type of view. I value certain things, certain mores that certain faiths profess, but I am not a bearer of Christ. So I feel, every day I use my name, I feel like I'm a walking irony. I really do. And I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I love my name, not because of what it necessarily means, but because my parents gave it to me. So, anyway. Steve Jobs. I love this. You want to talk about a perfect segue, and oh my God, I was not expecting to go up on that topic as long as I did. Give me a minute. Let me run through the list of credits for the patrons. Sorry, calling them super nomies now. Every one of you, you're my nomies, except for the people who agree with Gazoo. You can get out. Everybody else, you can stay. Let's enjoy our time on this planet together and have fun, shall we? Yeah, in fact, Cassie Lowe. Let me bring this up. I don't know if she's watching right now. She's usually tuned to the live stream. I had to start it early. Cassie Lowe is a Star Trek geek. I only know this because she participates in the community. Anytime I bring up something about Star Trek or she mentions it, I know. It's great. I love it. Eat it up. All right, so Steve Jobs. You're not talking about tech. Here we go. Steve Jobs was a low-tech parent. What? I'm going to read that headline again. Steve Jobs was a low-tech parent. So you'd imagine that, someone who helped create the iPhone, the Macintosh, the iPad, the devices that a lot of the world uses, whether or not you choose to use it or not, likely that the smart device that you're using was inspired by something that Steve Jobs kind of made happen. He was a low-tech parent. And I've had people ask me, you're going to raise your child with technology. It's going to be around, obviously. But I look at technology as an enabler, not so much a destination, right? It allows me to communicate with you, live stream video, playback, list of credits behind me, enable communication experiences. But too much of it can be catastrophic. If you, in fact, it's been shown by people who are probably smarter than both you and me combined, that introducing technology to a child too young or too soon can actually damage them behaviorally and mentally. There are certain things that technology can do, but unfortunately, if cognitive processes and emotional processes have not had a chance to fully develop, then you're stunting a child's growth potentially by introducing technology. And obviously, look around. I love tech is great. It's been it's amazing to look at what's going on in the world today and what kind of experiences are being created and how the world is becoming a better place because of technology, for the most part. There are some people who are definitely not making the world a better place with technology, but I'm going to err on the side of positivity here. Steve Jobs was a low-tech parent. Now, that does not mean I'm going to be a low-tech parent either, but my child has an opportunity to come to work with Daddy every day, and potentially, sit in on TLDRs going into the future. We may even get her perspective on the latest gadget release to see what she thinks at her age, and certainly potentially as a girl, whatever label she wants to carry with her. I'll let her label herself. I just want her to be happy. That's all. But she'll have an opportunity to hear the things that I think about and the things that I find interesting every day. That's fascinating. I'm kind of excited about that. So yeah, when I get a new tech, this, that, or the other thing, she'll probably have a chance to play with it, but not have her life ruled by it. Technology is not a fantastic device, so to speak, to use, just like television's not a great babysitter. I grew up in a day and age where my parents limited my time on the computer and the television, and I think that was just fine. I don't think I would have done it any differently, given what I know now, in the sense of how my parents decided to do it. So I think that's something that's worth thinking about. You would imagine Steve Jobs would have tech everything, but he said no. So much of our humanity can be lost when we use technology to hide or to escape. Can create certain issues where you just expect the whole world to revolve around you at a moment's notice. Now, me. And technology can bring it to you. You don't want to watch something I do? Fine, the internet's a big place. Hell, you don't even have to go to the internet to be entertained. So, there are plenty of options. And unfortunately, sometimes having too many choices can stymie your growth. Just to know that you can get to what you think you can get to immediately, when you have enough emotional maturity to understand the concept, to be able to understand that without humanity, technology is nothing. And I think that's a bigger problem to speak about at some point in the future. But the value of communicating with you right now, I assume I'm talking with people who have the ability to communicate, or at least understand the things that I'm saying. Some people, age has nothing to do with it. Sex has nothing to do with it. Some people don't understand that there are other people on the other side of their screen, and they don't have that mental connection. So then when they tweet something and attack someone, they don't realize they're actually potentially harming or hurting another human being emotionally, or otherwise. They're casting, just not just negativity, but they're impacting the world in a negative fashion, and they don't realize that. They don't realize that people are people, and just because you communicate with them without seeing their face doesn't make them any less of a person. And that, to me, is probably one of the biggest problems facing the internet, is the fact that so many people seem to have lost the humanity in them, where if you were to see them face to face, they would never say the same things as they do when they're online. It's barbaric, really. And I hope that the human condition can continue to evolve, to speak to that. But it's part of the problem of introducing technology to someone too young, before they've developed the emotional processes to understand that when they talk to someone online, whether it's email, Twitter, whatever, they're talking to somebody else. And let's go back to the things I learned when I was a kid. Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. Now, if that's how you want to be treated, fine. But that doesn't mean that other people want to be treated like that, with disrespect. So I think good on Steve Jobs. I would say the same thing. Bill Gates, I'd say the same thing for any tech visionary. the fact of going a low-tech route. And we talked about this at points in the past when Diana was still pregnant. Let me go ahead and kick in the screensaver. If you are wondering, hang on. If you are wondering what baby now I can say her name. Jedi's first laptop is going to be potentially. I'm not going to surround the child with tons of tech. I don't know if this is coming out of the box yet, but it's a Darth Vader laptop. Look at that, Darth Vader laptop. I need another one, so this one can stay in the box, or maybe the other one would if that other one is in better condition. It's got little games on there, learning games. I had a speak and spell. No, speak and math. My brother had a speak and spell. My other brother had a speak and read, and they were helpful. I mean, that's kind of the equivalent. I can't remember how old I was when I received a speak in math, but it seemed to be about the right time. I enjoyed that. Anything younger than that, I'd be very, very hesitant, outright, if only because I would not want to damage any of my child's cognitive processes. And let's face it, I'm not perfect. I mean, I'm going to do my best, but inevitably, I'm sure I'm going to do something that will change the way that the child sees the world. Hopefully for the better. But, none of us are perfect. There's no manual here, and we all have different perspectives and approaches to things. Anyway, fascinating read. Steve Jobs was a low-tech parent. Oh, who sent me this link? Someone sent me this link. Oh, sorry. Was it CJ Peridia, a young female in our community? Someone else. Someone sent this. Star S'mores. It's Sesame Street just published a Star Wars parody about self-control. It's great. I love it. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. I'll put the link in the description. Star S'mores. It's great. 2 days, like on September 12th, so just a few days ago. It was like perfect. It was perfect. Next. And, again, I apologize for kind of having to rush through things because now I am running late. By the way, the Q&A with you and me will be recorded a little later today. Just FYI, because I got an appointment to run off to. Diana's going to be here with Jedi and her mom. But I want to run through this list of headlines, really cool stuff. Apple confirming iPhone 6 NFC chip is only for Apple Pay at launch. Now, read into that, okay? It's just like Touch ID when they first released it. It's very limited now with iOS 8 coming tomorrow. Yes, I will likely be doing a review. Potentially, the review will be seen by the Supernomies first and then published for all to see. Maybe a drunk iOS 8 review, although I had one beer last night and went to bed with a raging headache and woke up with a raging headache and even threw up. Like, it was clear liquid and everything, but I don't know about beer right now. They confirmed the iPhone 6 NFC chip only for Apple Pay at launch. That's great news, if only because, they're going to probably work out some bugs. Now, they say at launch, so likely the NFC processes or the access to that part of the hardware will open up or likely open up with future releases of iOS, potentially iOS 8.1, potentially iOS 9, potentially iOS 10. But I think that's it's very, very a clear point to make. Don't really want to dive into anything too negative here. Round 2 of Microsoft layoffs coming September 18th, according to sources. And Mary Foley, who's been writing for ZDNet. She's covered the Microsoft beat, and I trust everything she puts out there. Oh my God, how many women have I referenced today who deal with technology? Or geekery in general. It's coincidental, I swear to God. Microsoft is also introducing a universal mobile keyboard built for iOS, Android, and Windows. Set to be released this October for about $80. So this is very nice. It's cool. There's not a Windows key on the keyboard. A Microsoft keyboard without a Windows key. I haven't seen that in forever. I used to love Microsoft keyboards, so I'd like to give that a shake. I really would. I haven't used a dedicated keyboard with a tablet or a phone. If I do, it's usually the Bluetooth wireless Apple keyboard, if only because I love this keyboard. I've never typed quicker, faster, great action on the keys. And I'm not saying that just because Apple made it, trust me. Even dyed-in-the-wool Windows users say, wow, this keyboard's really good. It is. Love the keyboard. So I'd like to give that a shake if I can. Disney they updated their iOS apps and their Android apps to support AirPlay and Chromecast, which is awesome. So streaming support from your devices. I don't really have any Disney movies right now in my library. I haven't started with the Disney thing yet. I know I will. I'd like Disney. Well, they got Star Wars. But it's nice to see them pushing that update down the pike, if only because it's more convenient to get content from point A to point B rather than running through like an Apple TV interface or even a Chromecast interface, using a device to press play and then broadcast to the TV. I'm always frustrated when I use a media app on iOS or Android and I don't have a chance to use AirPlay or I guess Chromecasting to beam that particular video from the device onto another screen. I know why they've locked it down. Media companies are crazy. But I still don't understand why. I'm like, well, what does it matter? I'm watching this screen or that screen. I'm paying for access, so it's just 10 years from now, I hope we never have those conversations again. Last but not least, and then I'm going to go ahead and close her out. Apple's published a document. You're going to love this. Apple's published a document. Move content from your Android phone to your iPhone if you were thinking about switching or using an iOS device, moving your content over. They've got an official support document for you to use. Do I recommend that? No, not necessarily. If you're serviced by your device, stick with it. I don't care what device it is, as long as you're happy, because that's what I want for everybody out there. I want you to be happy. As long as your happiness does not come at the cost of somebody else's happiness, I want you to be happy. So, thanks again for all your support. Thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, watching the vlogs, interacting, even though I've been really horrible at replying to people lately because I've been a little busy. Been a little inundated. I'm going to wind down right now. I will be, give me a second, doing a separate Q&A with you and me later in the day. It will definitely be late. The question, I believe, is, do you have advice for small company social media? I do have advice, and hopefully you will appreciate it. That is one of the Supernomies exclusive videos. I do 5 of them every week. 4 of them are exclusive to the Supernomies. 1 everybody gets to see. That's the one I published yesterday. I've got, how many have we done now? Can someone tell me? 75? At least 75, if not 80. Exclusive videos when you become one of our Supernomies. Inching our way towards 1,000, and we'll make it at some point in the future. So, at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.